you have two different kinds of REITs. On one hand, you have equity REITs. These are REITs that go out and they operate and they own real estate investments and they have tenants that pay them rent. Then there are mortgage REITs which invest in loans and mortgages. These mortgage REITs make money when landowners and property owners pay interest on their debt. Both type of REITs come with their own fair share of risk. I mean, the mortgage market is going to go through their own cycles, just like how the real estate market is going to go through their own cycles. And some mortgage REITs are going to invest into more risky loans, and some equity REITs are going to invest in more risky properties. You got to know what kind of investment you want. Being a mortgage REIT or an equity REIT doesn't necessarily change much when it comes to researching a REIT. It changes more of how the company operates. Like AG&C, which I talked about earlier, was a mortgage REIT, and SPG, which I also talked about, is an equity REIT. Again, I'm just giving you these REITs as examples. I'm not telling you what to invest in, but once you understand what the different kinds of REITs are, that's when you can look at what these REITs actually invest in. Some equity REITs, so these are the REITs that own and operate their own real estate, will invest in residential real estate, so apartments and homes. Other REITs will invest in hospitals. Other REITs will invest in office space. Other REITs will invest in malls. Ask yourself, if you had an unlimited amount of cash, what kind of properties would you want to own? You do not, I repeat, you do not want to buy into a REIT just because they're paying out a high dividend. A really high dividend yield could mean that a company is making a ton of profit and the stock price hasn't caught up to it yet, which is good. And it could also mean that the stock price is tanking because the company is having problem and the dividend hasn't adjusted yet. That is bad. With mortgage REITs, you got to look at the same thing. Some mortgage REITs will invest in mortgage-backed securities. Some will invest in commercial loans. Some will invest in commercial mortgage-backed securities, and others will invest in high-risk mortgages. The mistake that a lot of people make when they invest in REITs, and this happens for any stock for that matter, but especially in REITs, is that they think that they're investing in a ticker symbol as opposed to a company. They think, wow, this stock is paying out a 10% annual dividend. Let me just throw all my money into the stock because I'm going to make 10% of it back every single year. But if you're getting a 10% annual dividend while the stock price is falling 20% a year, you are in a losing situation. But if you know what you're doing, you have the opportunity to win twice, because now you're going to invest into a strong company, which means your dividends are going to go up because they're making good acquisitions, and the stock price is going up because the company is becoming more valuable, so now you're winning twice. Now, if you've made it this far in this video and you're thinking to yourself, man, I would really like to invest in REITs, but I don't trust myself to do the research, or I don't know how to do the research, or I just don't want to spend the time doing this research, then you may want to consider investing into a REIT ETF. An ETF is a fund that invests in a whole bunch of different stocks. So now, instead of you going out and trying to find the best REIT to invest in, you can invest in a REIT ETF, which is an ETF which invests in a whole bunch of different REITs. This would be like investing in VNQ. Again, I'm not telling you what to buy, just giving you an example. VNQ is an ETF that invests in REITs. So now, if you bought shares of VNQ, you will have exposure to 180 different REITs, because VNQ is a fund that invests in more than 180 different REITs. So REITs are a way for you to get exposure to the real estate market without having to actually manage and operate your own real estate investment properties. And unlike crowdfunding, REITs allow you to access your money whenever you want. And like with everything else, if you want to make the smartest decisions with your money, it helps when you're staying up to date on what's happening in the finance and business world. And if you're looking for an easy way to do that, well, that's why we created the free Market Briefs newsletter, which is our Minority Mindset Finance and Business newsletter, where our team first breaks down the top finance and business news, and then we show you how this news affects your wallet. That way you can be smart with your money. This Market Briefs newsletter is completely free, and you can subscribe to our newsletter by clicking the link up here or by clicking the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.